Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Sunday Politics, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimale here in Abuja. Tonight, our focus is on Anambra State. In less than a month, just about 20 days or so, the people of the state will be marching to the polls to elect their governor. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said that it has delivered all non-sensitive materials ahead of the November the 8th, 2025 election. We have an INEC chairman designate in the person of Professor Joash Amupiton, and Anambra governorship election might be his very first test. Integrity, trust, and fairness will be in high demand for that important election. Tonight, we focus our attention to one of the leading candidates in the race and the man who calls his blueprint the Soludo solution. Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo took office in 2022, promising to make Anambra Africa's next digital and industrial hub, pledging jobs, roads, and peace in a region too often scarred by insecurity. 3 years on, with the 2025 governorship election approaching, how much of those promises have been delivered, and how much remains rhetoric? Governor Soludo and the candidate of APGA in the November election joins me now from Awka, the capital of Anambra State. Your Excellency, Governor Soludo, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Shane. It's really a great pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
As always, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. Let's begin where every public office should: accountability. Governor Soludo, when you took office, your Soludo solution promised 130,000 youth employment and to be empowered, 1,000 kilometers of roads, and a digital industrial revolution. Those were the things you promised 3 years ago to the people of Anambra State, and you were telling the voters that if they vote you, these are the things that you will do for them as part of your Soludo solution. 3 years later, what are the verified numbers, not intentions, but the outcomes? Can you give us, in these 3 areas that I've mentioned, can you give us figures, an action point on what has been delivered so far?
Thank you very much, Shane. And we promise even much more than that. The Soludo solution, the People's Manifesto, had a 5-point agenda. I mean, our promises were in 5 key buckets, and with a vision to turning Anambra from a departure lounge to a destination. Our vision was to recreate Anambra to become a livable and prosperous smart megacity. That's the context in which you put it. And so our promises, our manifesto was based on 5 pillars, okay? Each of them has got quite a lot of breakdowns leading to this. Very intentional, very deliberate, transformative, informed. If you got to turn it from a departure lounge to a destination, you got to have quite a whole lot in place. The first, obviously, you know that when we assumed office, 8 local governments in Anambra were totally under siege by the non-state actors. In fact, none of us could campaign in a local government called Ihala. In much of the South Senatorial Zone, none of the candidates for election in 2021 could campaign, including myself, my own local government. And so the first order, in terms of the pillars, the first one happened to be security, law, and order. And today, on Wednesday, last week, we were in Ihala. And back again, all elections that have been held in Ihala. The 8 local governments have been retrieved from, rescued from these non-state actors. Are we there?
Absolutely.
Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
You are there?
Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, because I think I'm not seeing the screen anymore. So, on Wednesday, we had a celebration. It was not a campaign. It was a massive rally that we could have in Ihala. And the Reverend Father testified there that all the communities that were on the run are now back. The churches are back, everybody back in their communities. That's just it. I mean, if you call it a case study of what has happened in security. And Anambra is today adjudged one of the safest, if not the safest state in Nigeria. And we can come back to the numbers. We've smoked out these members who have kinetic and non-kinetic approaches. We've declared amnesty program for those non-state actors, and thousands of them have surrendered. We've been able to retrain them, put them back in society, as it were. Now, of course, that's not to talk about, now that I talk about thousands, we promised empowerment of the youths, and we are having one that like no other in this country. And that is where we have trained in a peculiar Igbo apprenticeship system. About 13,000 youths, empowered them with at least 4,000 or 5,000 of them now profess themselves as young millionaires. And even they themselves employing others. In fact, when the president came, one of them that spoke said he now employs about 25 persons. So we are deliberately creating the new and future millionaires out of our youths. We've just empowered another 8,300, and with over 30,000 youths that have gone through digital training, and our Silicon Valley is in the making, as it were. Now, we've had a new homeland security law. We're chasing out the criminal native doctors and cleansing our society, because we can't build a Dubai, Taiwan, and inhabited by criminals and warped value system. So we have fundamental restructuring of our society on that same pillar. It's not just, beating people up, but creating a new social moral order. The second is infrastructure and economic transformation. On this one, and when you talk about 1,000 kilometers, that's the one being constructed, and over 700 of them completed with a quality that the state hasn't seen before in terms of having stone bays before thick asphalt, and dualization of major highways, including federal roads in the state, flyovers and bridges that we have never seen before. That's about 1,000 in terms of new constructions. But then if you include the rehabilitation of our zero pothole program, which is over 700 kilometers, you will be getting, close to 2,000 of them being made motorable. Especially the intentionality about taking roads to the hitherto never accessible areas. Local government that you could never drive to their headquarters. That's the only local government I know in Nigeria you could not drive to. Now you could drive to the place. Remote areas of the state being connected. And that's why, several newspapers have given us an award in the area of infrastructural transformation. It's been humongous, what we've been able to do in 3 years in terms of getting back to your numbers. Now, in terms of economic transformation, that is very huge. We're actually building new industrial city, a power station. It's actually, are you still there?
Yes,
I can't see you on the screen anymore.
No, don't worry.
There.
Go ahead,
okay.
I can hear you.
A new industrial city is in the making. A power substation is being there. We've laid about more than 30 kilometers of power line to the place, and it's being cleared now. The Mahindra, the international firm on industrial parks, has studied that and petitioned that. It's going to, having automotive park, pharmaceutical, industrial park, agro, allied, and chemicals, and the others in the place. And we are working with Arise, an international firm, in that regard, together with Afrexim Bank. And sooner or later that will be clear. But nevertheless, heavy industries already taking place. People having groundbreaking ceremonies, factories showing up here and there. There is a new automobile company, and I will be commissioning that very soon in Anambra. Thousands of jobs with the return of security in the state. Hotels getting filled back again, new jobs, formal and informal sector, factories back, and the societies abandoned before getting back. People are very industrious.
All right.
And you see the jobs getting on.
Right.
Now, in the area of human capital, now you talk about, because you talk about tech and so on, technology stuff. That's where we are building a fundamental foundation for the future of our society. When we have free education from kindergarten through primary, through secondary, SS3 in all public schools. Public education was abandoned for over 3 decades, and they were just the wretched of the earth, if you like. But now, our public education is not only back, but winning awards nationally. I mean, the President's Award, the World Teachers Day 2 weeks ago, I think Anambra came back with about 9 prizes out of 15, with the best overall school in Nigeria. I spoke with the Minister of Education, was excited about that the overall best school in Nigeria happened to be a public school in Anambra. And, 6 of those 9 prizes went to public schools. And in fact, from WAEC, the best school performance in sciences in Nigeria happened to be an Anambra in terms of chemistry, physics, biology, and from an Anambra public school. Because we started off by recruiting 8,115 teachers competitively across the country. It's not the best that we could find in Nigeria, from 18 states of Nigeria. Because what is best for the Anambra child is to be taught by the best teacher in the world, not by the incompetent one from his village. And there is no school without qualitative teachers. And with that as a foundation, I'm putting them back, and we're going to even be recruiting more. We've prioritized education first rate. If you want to evaluate the quality of education of any society, you look at the quality of teachers and the quality of teachers.
Governor Soludo,
and
just let me,
area,
let me cut in quickly,
okay,
because I'm going to take it segment after segment, and I'd like us to look at the major areas that you have promised and the reason why you think that you deserve a second term from the people of Anambra State. But first and foremost, let me ask you, you promised about 1,000 kilometers of new roads. But when we're tracking, what we understand that have been done is about 400 kilometers. Are you disputing this, or is there a setback in you achieving that construction target?
I think when you say 400, I don't know whether that was in the first year or in the second year where you tracked. I don't think you have the numbers. I have just told you the numbers. I've just told you that we're close to 2,000 already, and with over 700 already asphalted. And Anambra is one huge construction site as we speak now. And even new ones coming on board, and connecting in a form that I will tell you Anambra has never seen in its entire history. And that is why the people themselves, currently we're supposed to be campaigning, but we're busy inspecting roads, starting new ones, inspecting, commissioning, and commencing new ones. And the people themselves, while we don't take their votes for granted, we're eternally grateful to the people, because something that is happening in Anambra in terms of, somebody says, a professor says it needs to be studied, a professor of political science, that the communities, the people themselves have taken over our campaigns. They are funding it, they are organizing it with their own money, and donating money to us. I just came from one yesterday, 50-something million. 2 days ago, 200 million from 210 million or 11 million from a local government. The other day, 150 million. And the communities have lined up, almost 100 of them now, donating to the campaign. It tells you basis, in terms of the roads that passes through all the nooks and crannies, connecting communities that never seen tarred road since the creation of Adam and Eve. In fact, one of them, Oka North, they organized their own rally and called it a thank you rally. Because most of the communities there have never been connected. That's the local government that the communities needed to go through 4 or 5 other local governments to get to their headquarters. They're now so connected with almost 60 kilometers of road in 3 years, connecting the communities, compact communities, that they have, they said, just to thank you. It's Okpoko, the biggest slum in the southeast, if not in Nigeria, that is now been transformed to become what they call New Heaven, with streets, tarred, street lights, pipe-borne water, general hospital that they have never seen before. That's a squalor with almost half a million people without a general hospital. And they're now experiencing it. So the people themselves are rejoicing. The people themselves feel it. And miles out, just 1,000 kilometers of road. And by the way, for context, no government in our history, even in 8 years, has that record. Because you got to put in context.
All right. So let me
speak of what we have in 3 years.
Yeah. I just wanted you to clarify the figures, because in our tracking, that's what we're able to get. So I clarify
that your figure is wrong.
Yeah.
Your figure is wrong, okay? And it's more than twice your figure.
Okay. Let's go to the area of security.
Even Governor. 3 times your figure.
Yeah. Let's go to the area of security. Yes, a lot of people will know what went wrong, or what went down the last 3 years, still at home, the insecurity situation. But if you look at what the statistics are telling us about insecurity or security situation in Anambra State, we've seen Agune Chamber being instituted, Operation Udogachi, and a lot of the initiative. There seems to be a drop. We understand about 38% or so drop in insecurity incident in the state. But there are those who are of the opinion that you're basically managing the situation. Yes, there has been a drop. Sit at home seems to be a thing of the past, but we're still experiencing kidnapping, sporadic incidents here and there, violence. The big question here is that you said you are going to restore peace. Are you able to achieve the restoration of peace, or are you struggling in calming the tense nerve in the state? Or how do you hope to permanently resolve the unrest that happens sporadically in the state?
Again, Shehu, your statistics are quite, I don't know where you're getting your statistics. When you have 2, 3, 4 months that you don't have any incidents, where you're getting 38% and so on, and you have a state where before we came into office, nobody could even wear anything that suggests you are a politician and so on. Dr. Akonyele was killed simply because he had a policeman in his car, where most of the police stations were burnt down. Even soldiers were, decimated by these criminal elements. 8 local governments, you couldn't travel, you couldn't get there. And now everybody can sleep with their 2 eyes closed. Come down to Anambra. Come down to Anambra, where now everybody is moving around, even the most dreaded local government, which is Ihiala, where we couldn't even have election there. Today, INEC done their re-registration smoothly in all the 326 wards in Anambra. Everybody moves around everywhere. And like I said to you, we just celebrated the absolute return of peace and, the liberation of Ihiala the other day. So, do you have insecurity to zero? Of course. There is no society in the world with zero insecurity. But if you compute it from where we came, where we were, and where we are, the difference is like day and night. Even your crew, Channel's crew that are here for this interview, They know that they stay here up to 12 midnight and 1 a.m. and they move around the states. You call them and ask. Before I assumed office as governor, that was not possible. And so, all over the state, in fact, that is the major thing the people are rejoicing about. You come to our rallies, that's the first testimonial that they give, that they're now able to sleep with their two eyes
Governor
closed.
Soludo,
Let me come down.
Just for a moment, sir, just to go back to the incidents that we're talking about and putting context to it, and making the statistics about 38% was a drop in killings from Q1 to Q2 of 2025. And there are still incidents that are happening. For example, there is a popular person called Fish Magnet. Ife Sinachi Onyekere was killed around July. There are incidents that are happening sporadically. My question to you, Your Excellency, is the fact that... just for a moment, sir.
Let me
just for a moment. Just for a moment. My question to you...
Let me reply to you.
Go ahead, please.
I got your question, Shehu. You see, I'm glad you mentioned that one. You know, occasionally you have high profile involved in this. I mean, very unfortunate. We should not lose even one soul. May his soul rest in peace. But when you have occasional, isolated incident, it's just like you get to the U.S., occasionally you have a school shooting. They get into schools and shoot everybody there and so on. And then we say, oh, no, if you get to America, bullets are flying over your head. Or what you find everywhere else. Of course, if insecurity involves any high profile, it gets anyone shot gets the traction in the days of social media. But I'm not talking about the fact that millions of people now go about their business unperturbed, not even thinking about anything. When you talk about 38% from Q1 to Q2, and that is what you are. I was just with the security chiefs the other day, and we're talking about months with no incident, so to speak. So we are very razor focused. Even on the social media now, we have, reports of Agune Chamber attacking one camp that you had some criminals in Achala and smoking them all out. And we now have even equipment that anywhere we have any group who say that they are in any camp or whatever, we not only smoke them out of the place, but go and clear the place and turn it into a farmland. We have absolutely zero tolerance for any form of insecurity. Will there be occasional, as you say, sporadic here, there, and so on? You will find that all over the world, without a question. I traveled around the world, at least almost 70 countries now. There is not one place that you don't occasionally have sporadic incident of insecurity, and especially if it's someone with a name recognition. But I say one thing to you, and that is a promise I made to my people, and they are seeing the results. We don't negotiate without these criminals. We told them there is a line drawn. You either come out, we rehabilitate you, and put you back to use, to serve the society, or be ready for us. And I will say this without any fear of contradiction, that Anambra is certainly one of the safest, if not the safest state in Nigeria today.
All right, quickly. There is this, I know that one of the major problems in the southeast region of the country, which impacted on the economy largely, was every Monday people stay at home, and it's pretty much like 3 weekend days that you have out of the 7 or 8 days. You have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday in the southeast region. Monday reduced to a no-work day because of sit-at-home issue. And now there are agitation for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And I'd like to know, are you joining in that campaign for the president or the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu? There will be protests in many parts of the country tomorrow, as we understand. What is your view about that protest and the agitation for the release of Nnamdi Kanu?
Shehu, I think we should be discussing Anambra and forthcoming election. That's what you said this program is all about. And you're not going to drag me, get me to, if you like, get us distracted from that focus. I get on to Monday sit at home thing, which is very unfortunate. We've made it very clear. People, if you are protesting or agitating for anything, you are holding yourself down by now killing your own people under the pretext of Monday sit at home. And I think even Nnamdi Kanu himself and his IPOB, at least on record in terms of press releases that were sent out by IPOB that they did not support the Monday sit at home. It was some criminal elements doing that. And we take them for their word that that's true, that they don't. And Monday sit at home thing is likely, over here. With anybody sitting at home now is doing so out of his own preference, not because of insecurity, as it were, because everywhere is secured on Mondays, and as the case may be. As for those who are agitating or going to have demonstration or whatever, they have a right to do so. I mean, in a democracy, where everybody has freedom of expression, and you express have your freedom of expression in the way that you do so. I discussed the issue of release of Nnamdi Kanu, several months upon assumption of office, and even on the day that the Ohanes and the Igbo had their Igbo there, I said, we needed to have a conversation because, for me, I believe very strongly that, of course, the agitation thing and the position on a separatist view of Igbo land. For me, as a full-blooded Igbo man, I don't believe that. But I want us to have a conversation. I've told, I said, why I need Nnamdi Kanu to come and sit with all of us, everybody else, because nobody has greater right than the other. We're all Igbos, and we're all entitled to our views. And those of them who want us out of Nigeria, we all sit in a room and debate it. Are we served better being out of Nigeria or within Nigeria? I am of the view that the Igbo man needs Nigeria, Nigeria needs the Igbo man. I'm of the view that the Igbo man needs Africa, Africa needs the Igbo man. I'm of the view that the Igbo man needs the world. We're in everybody's village, and an itinerant people cannot afford to be an intolerant people. That's my view. So, for those who are going on failed protests, I am governor of a state. Mine is to govern. Social activists do their own job. I do my own job. I've had my say, and in the way that I do so, and there is a process that obviously has to get through. And that is what I can say to you. I speak very frankly. I have my opinion on this. Like I said, when Nnamdi Kanu comes out, those who believe, ultimately, he will come out. And when he comes out, we are going to sit down around table and interrogate our alternative visions for Igbo land. My vision is that we should build a livable and prosperous homeland so that as itinerant people, wherever you go and you don't find comfort, whatever else you go, you have a livable and prosperous homeland to return to. But do we need Nigeria? We need Nigeria, absolutely, and Nigeria needs us. That is my very deep belief, and I canvass it with no apologies, and I hold that. And I'm prepared to debate this with anyone, that the future prosperity of the Igbos, God didn't make a mistake in putting us together as one nation, and we must exploit all the opportunities available to that in a fairer Nigeria, equitable Nigeria, the Igbo man has a great future.
All right. Give me a moment, Governor Soludo, because we need to go on a break. The Soludo solution was promised 3 years. If you are from Anambra State, I'm asking you the question, have you gotten the solution just yet? Does Governor Chukwuma Soludo deserve a second term? These are the conversations that we're having. The elections are just a few days away. More on the conversation with Governor Soludo after this break, everyone. Professor Charles Soludo is the governorship candidate of APGA and the governor of Anambra State. He's seeking re-election on the platform of APGA. And tonight we're having a conversation about an election that's just about 19 days away. Tonight, Governor Soludo is telling Anambra citizens and Nigerians why he deserves the votes of the people of the state. Thank you so much, Professor Soludo, for your time tonight on the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, indeed.
Thank you, Shane.
Give us an understanding. The first time around, you said it was Soludo solution. Are you done with the solution or solution 2.0? Or what exactly are you promising this time around?
Well, unfortunately, you haven't even let us discuss I thought we were going to have some time to discuss the outcome so far.
No, we're still going there.
Soludo 1.0.
I'm going on. I'm going somewhere with my question. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, in terms of if you think about the next steps, I was talking about education, and that's where you cut me off. Our health infrastructure that has been rebuilt, particularly public health, and with staffing all over 5 brand new general hospitals, refurbished 326 primary health centers, and then with free antenatal, free delivery in all our public hospitals, with almost 0 mortality rates, and that has benefited over 170,000 women. We won the national award, 700,000 as the best in the country, and $500,000 as the best in Southeast. And we're deepening all these reforms. I think the very first thing to say to you, is it on governance, where we have transparency, technology, and prudence, or dealing with our environment? For each of these, we can give you a catalog of at least 40, 50 sterling accomplishments. But in terms of next steps, first of all, I must appreciate the Anambra for their massive support in these previous 3 years. The stakeholders of Anambra project, everybody, all hands have been on deck. We didn't get there alone. We've accomplished the revolution that is ongoing collectively with the people. And we appreciate it. We're not taking their support for granted, and we will never take the support of the people for granted. Next steps, we're going to deepen the ongoing revolutions along these 5 pillars: security, law and order, infrastructure and economic transformation, the human capital, our health, education, and our social agenda, our youth's empowerment like no other, deepening on the way government works, continuing to have our tech, transparency, and prudence. By the way, we've done what we've done in 3 years without borrowing a dime. Our environment, which is #1 existential threat for Anambra, planning our cities and getting them properly function like modern cities, urban regeneration agenda. As you know, we've broken the 34-year-old jinx that Anambra was the only state created about 91 that never had a government house or a governor's lodge or a proper thing. Now we're sitting on 57 structures in what we call the Obi Anambra, as it were. So the first order of business is that we are accelerating. As you see the cap and where it says solution continues. That's where we're on acceleration mode, as it were, in the second term. If the people who are my employers are gracious enough to renew our mandate, we need to deepen the revolution that is ongoing along these 5 pillars. As I said to our people, the Americans will say, you ain't seen nothing yet. We're only just at the foundational stage. And by the time, and if they employ us again, which from all the polls available, it does seem that it's looking like we appear to be the consensus candidate for the election. But if they manifest the same thing that we'll see on the election day, we're going to not only deepen the reforms along those, there are major programs. There are 3 new cities been designed. We're at the starting stage of them. We're going to be accelerating them. Metropolis, Industrial City, Oka 2.0, Onitsha, not Onitsha 2.0, we call it the Greater Niger City around Onitsha, as it were. New transport system infrastructure, as it were. We've designed a master plan, the rail master plan for the state. We're now trying to syndicate funding and thinking through alternative funding arrangements, airports, water transportation system, just trying to reject the state in a form that
Prof,
actually fit for the 22nd century.
Let me jump in quickly. In all of this, perception is very key, because you will take a certain perception to the polls when you're campaigning to the people. Your body language and your perceptions are very key. Despite some of the reforms that you have made, some civil servants, from what I've been able to glean, and I hear some market leaders, they describe your administration as too technocratic. They're saying that you have an intellectual tone to your approach. How do you hope to make your governance strategy a bit relatable to the people, or that is how you want it, and that is the Soludo style, the technocratic, the professorial, and what they have described as the intellectual tone to Soludo's approach to governance? Is that how you want it?
Okay, I think, Shehu, these descriptions are just the textbook of what you are copying from Abuja. Come down to Anambra. I'm the governor who has governed Anambra, who walks the street, who walks the markets. I campaign actually in the markets. I walk the streets. The same civil servants that you talk about have endorsed me for a second term. The teachers, over 10,000 of them were on the street the other day, endorsed us. The market leaders, all the markets in Anambra have endorsed us. The youths have endorsed us. The women have endorsed us. Every segment of our society, the stakeholder society, has endorsed us. Never happened in the history of the state. Like I said to you, my campaign has been taken over by the people themselves. The communities are contributing money. In fact, there is this beneficiaries of our free education thing. They were even contributing maybe 10 naira, 5 naira. And they presented me with a dummy check of 3,130,000 naira. I was imagining how they got the 130 naira. Must be people contributing 10 naira, 20 naira, and so on. The Okada riders, the bus drivers. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I was at Dunukofia, and some of them gathered cash because they said they don't have bank accounts. So they gathered 638,700 naira cash and handed over to me. So that's what their own contribution. It has never happened in the history of this state. I don't know where else in the country that has happened. This is the people's movement. This is the governor who has come, who dines with them, who is in the market with them, who is in the street with them, who can take a walk in the street with them. I'm campaigning in the markets openly and take a walk. And when I come in, you see the crowd following me.
Yeah.
So the point I make to you, let me address your point now pointedly. You see, when people talk, like I told you that's your textbook description, that's not what is on ground. And that is why, for example, in August this year, we had by-elections. People said that was going to be a referendum on our government, on Soludo solution. it was going to be the mock for November. We had 2 by-elections, the Senate. South Senatorial Zone, Apuga has never won it before. Guess what? Apuga won with 75%. We had another seat previously occupied by a Labour member of the House of Assembly. Guess what? Apuga won it again with 70-something%. So, if indeed what was said then, that this mock will reflect almost like a referendum on us, then if that reflects, if you like, the concrete, I don't want to talk about opinion polls, because somebody will say, oh, these opinion polls, who knows who did it. But I'm talking about concrete results now that reflect what people think. The people themselves voting with their feet, voting with their money, voting with their organizations. All my rallies, I don't put in a dime. The people themselves are organizing it. And I just walk in, address them, and go away. And they even donate money for them all to us. So what I say to you is that your description is the same, is the textbook thing.
Governor Soludo, I know that yes, there are those who will talk to you who perhaps, there are some things that you will not hear. But those of us who are on the street also will hear some of the things you don't hear. But
no.
In any case,
Shehu, I am telling you that those ones, Shehu, the point is that when you say what you hear, and I'm telling you, you see, I deal with statistics. The people themselves are expressing their view through their votes, through their, you come here, you come, that will take you on a street walk, and you see what the people think. Like you quoted 2 sources. And I told you fortuitously, those 2 groups have endorsed us, giving us awards. So when you say these things say this or this, 0.01% tell you that, and that's the one you choose to quote. I'm giving you statistics of what the majority of the people, 75%, 77% of the people have said through their actions.
You are running,
and it's verifiable.
Yeah, you are running on the platform of a party.
Oh, sorry, I've lost you. I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry, I'm not hearing you, Shehu.
Oh, okay. There seems to be some issue. Let's take another break, everyone. We'll be able to resolve that connection after this break, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Now, our closing moments with Professor Charles Soludo, Governor of Anambra State and candidate of APGA. My question before the communication glitch occurred is that your party, APGA, seems to be losing a national relevance, politically speaking. Your state is the only state that has the flag of that party flying. And if you look at the Southeast region now, it's only Anambra and Abia that is of a different political stock. The other 3 states, Ebonyi, Imo, and Enugu, they've not joined the APC. And there are those who are saying, oh, it does look like Soludo is close to Bola Tinubu. He might be the next governor going to the APC. Is that in your consideration, especially because you are on a platform that has lost a lot of national relevance?
I know, Shehu, you can't, it's difficult for you to finish this kind of interview without trying to cause trouble. Are you hearing me?
Yes, Your Excellency. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes. Yeah, the very first thing is on APGA and national relevance. APGA has always been in Anambra since inception and been here. And that's the only state it's kept governor in place. And we have a senator from Abia. We have other members of the House of Reps from other states. The National Assembly. Now we have a senator from Anambra South that we've never had before. APGA is strong and thriving. Several other states in the National Assembly, you have a caucus there. So APGA hasn't got anything less than what it was. The people of Anambra love APGA. APGA is almost like a religion here, a movement of the people. And the people are happy with it. And that's part of the democratic system that we have, so to speak. So, APGA is strong and waxing stronger. And even in the coming election, you will see it, which we believe that Professor Amopita, who is the new INEC chairman, that will be his first. He said you don't have a second chance to create a first impression, that his first impression in Anambra will be resounding. And we are determined to help him have a very strong beginning by having credible, transparent, free, fair election. And you will see the people will speak again as they spoke on August 16, telling you that this is
but Governor Soludo,
but then,
what about the offer to you to join the APC? Are you taking it or you are rejecting it?
Where is the offer?
Oh, I thought that was part of the conversation you had at the villa the other time.
Well, that's, you guys have fertile minds. And I've told you, no matter how you struggle to want to preempt those, my conversation, the president, and I make no apologies about it. I've said it everywhere, and I'm proud to say it every time. The president and I are friends. We've been friends since 2003. That's 22 years now. And I have no apologies about that. I support him. I support his administration. He supports my administration. We collaborate in a form that actually to keep Nigeria going. No apologies about this and so on. Now, about joining APC or not joining APC. That, in your fertile mind, you have already conjured that if you go to see the president, you must be discussing who joins who and who doesn't. That we don't have even more important national matters about how we move the country forward in the areas of security, the economy, social transformation, the youth empowerment things that we had to discuss. Have very, 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 very much more important things to discuss. And I know the president himself is a thorough Democrat. I know him to be so, that he appreciates the fact that this is multi-party democracy and that various states and various parts of the country might have different kinds of leanings. But one thing is clear as well. We'll say that here in Anambra, in 2011, the APGA, under a different leadership, had an understanding and reached a policy to support the president and the government at the center. That time happened to be PDP. Indeed, in 2011, APGA did not field a presidential candidate. It rather adopted the presidential candidate of PDP as its presidential candidate. And that policy has not changed. And we have no apologies about that. And come to think about it, APGA is the first registered All Progressives Grand Alliance, All Progressives. And All Progressive Congress happened to be the party at the center. We say here that progressives are working together.
All right.
We share common ideals, common values, and so on and so forth. And we'll continue to collaborate and coordinate for the betterment of this country.
So invariably, because we are totally out of time, and I'd like to get your comment, invariably, APGA is the Anambra edition or version of the APC, because that's, you're APGA, but yet somehow you have the APC, appeal in some way. But the question I'd like to ask you is, how confident are you in this election? And I'd like your response to be a very short one, because I have a final question for you before we close. We are totally out of time. My question to you, Your Excellency, is this. Mr. Mohalu, for example, has been endorsed by Mr. Peter Obi, the candidate of the Labour Party. The APC candidate, Mr. Ukachukwu, they've all promised that Soludo is not returning. They will send you out of town. How confident are you? These political opponents of yours, they are confident of defeating you.
Well, nobody goes into a battle without being confident. So they will be confident, just like they were confident on, about August 16 by-election. They were confident. In fact, they said, those parties, they said, no, they will take it. They were going to take the stuff to demonstrate that they are serious about November 8th election and so on and so forth. What we rely on is the power of the people. It's the power of the people. We want free, fair, transparent election. And INEC has always done a great job in Anambra, I must say that. We are confident that INEC, under Professor Mopita, will continue in that tradition, will conduct free, fair, transparent election, and the people of Anambra will speak as they spoke on August 8th.
Professor Charles Soludo, ABGA candidate in the November election and governor of Anambra State, thank you so much, and I wish you the very best in the coming days.
Thank you very much. And Anambra is rising, and there is no going back. We'll thank the people of Anambra and thank Nigerians. And INEC, we wait for you on November 8th to do the great job.
That's our show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, indeed. That's our show for everyone for tonight. I'm Shunwa Kimale. God bless Nigeria.